Who wants to catch us up on what happened last time?
You re-listened to it, didn't you?
Yes.
So
So
I didn't. That's good.
So we made our ways out of the Underspire Tavern area where we were. We stopped those big spirals. Apoc hacked off one of the mandibles. Sir Basil hacked off a head. Made our way back up. We visited the magistrate. Mrs. Q expertly negotiated and revealed that, you know, we dealt with the thieving case, and we dealt with this extra case of people disappearing in the Underspire area, and we have a appointment with the council
in the morning.
Then we during that, Cam went shopping for some cool trinkets and goodies.
I'm looking for some gloves. Sweet gloves.
One of the things included in that was a little spell for Apoc's bow.
It's still gone.
Huh?
Which is still gone.
Oh.
We're not going to need it today. Don't worry about it.
Once we met back up, we had a surprise drop in at Kariga's bar, where it was announced that someone got engaged. Then we, if I remember correctly, we went back to the cat person.
Eliza.
That's it.
Went back to Eliza's shop to hang out with her and just kind of like celebrate night and hang out. But then we ended up going back to Korea's bar to do a beer drinking competition. And we won. And then we had like a bubble floating in the air party.
That was during the competition.
Yeah.
There were bubbles floating in the air?
Cam poured something into the beer, which made us all float.
Oh, yeah.
And then Sir Basil, using his pipe of bubbles, made bubbles everywhere. So it was like
you're right.
a 30-second bubble floating party.
It's amazing how quick a party can turn into a rave in D&D.
Yeah.
Well, it was either fizzy lifting drink or acid. So,
You don't know what they are.
And I think the only other point to remember is that in the morning, so the next day when we have our appointment, is also the day of the
Festival.
The Amaranthian Festival, or whatever the festival is called.
also, you missed the point where we hit up the Adventurers Guild, the Sharpened Arrow.
Yes.
The franchise, the Sharpened.
We figured out how to join the Hunters Guild.
Yeah.
I have to go back and rewatch it because I forgot all of that.
Where Clara, Dania, and Steven said they were going to reimburse the cost of the face spider mandible at the shoemaker store. Le Monde Shoemaker.
Oh God. Oops.
Sorry, Le Monde Schumacher.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Le Monde Schumacher.
Do we remember what it is? What do we need to do in order to join the guild?
We're not. I think we're not joining them. They just bought the face spider thing off of us.
Okay, because I thought we said we might want to join them or something. But anyways.
You're more than welcome to ask if you like. I might say let's take a break if you do choose to ask, so I can figure it out.
I think that's it.
Eric, did you take the money, or are we all splitting it 50 gold each?
So
you paid for us.
Yeah, we won 100 gold, right? So like
From the drinking game? Yeah.
Yeah, and I thought Dace took all of it. but I don't know how we're gonna split that out. So maybe I stole it off Dace, and I'm willing to spread it out if needed today.
Cool.
Perfect.
That's acceptable. I'm assuming it's good and not a natural one.
No, it wasn't a natural one. It's a natural 2.
Oh gosh. You know, Dace has had stuff to drink. It's fine.
We all saw it and we're like, he paid for us.
Yeah. But yeah, I think we had just finished off the drinking game in Kriga's bar, and last session went over 2 days. So you had come out of the Underfall kind of early in the morning. You had gone to see the, or no, maybe it was over one very early morning, sleeping into the evening and kind of waking up late afternoon to get your long rest. So hanging out with Eliza, it is kind of back to the evening. You are in Kriga's bar, having just sort of tumbled down from mysteriously levitating. And well, I guess 3 out of the 5 of you are a little unsure why that happened. 2 out of the 5 of you might have some idea. Cam secretly pickpocketing Dace's coin purse that Kariga kind of chucked at him. And as the revelry kind of starts back up in the Hopping Stump, Kariga's bar, once more this evening seeming to take in far more people, as it seems like everybody and their dog has come to the festival, or at least the night before the festival. What would you guys like to do? It's going to be a night of partying.
Mhm.
Is this going to be a time skip?
Mrs. Q, you got any suggestions on where we should go? Like, are we gonna do some bar hopping, or what's your plan?
Do you know how old I am?
You're only as old as you feel.
I'm feeling rather old. I certainly don't wish to replicate the levitation. It gave me indigestion.
I got something else that'll help with that.
Ooh.
Are you going to give me a potion?
Yeah. This one, it looks like your eyes, and you look into it and there's gold sparkling in it. You want to try?
Would Mrs. Q try it? How much did we have to drink again in order to win? We chugged like a big thing, right?
A big thing, like a German Stein big thing.
But you slowly sipped yours.
No, I think Mrs. Q won her round.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
I chugged. Would she? No, she wouldn't.
I believe in you. Oh,
Sorry, she would.
Would you be able to like tell what it is by looking at it?
I doubt it. I don't think. Actually, my Arcana is very high.
Go ahead and make an Arcana or an investigation check if you want to try and figure it out. Actually, one thing first, go ahead and make a Constitution check. And let's see how well Mrs. Q can handle chugging a giant thing.
A straight con check or con save?
Sorry, Constitution save.
Ooh,
19.
Nice roll.
You handle it very well. Okay, now it's going to be Arcana or investigation, just a straight roll.
16.
Ooh, very nice.
Interesting. Okay. So looking at this little potion that Apoc described with gold flecks in it, kind of like reflecting off of the candlelight in Kariga's bar, the warm atmosphere, almost making it kind of warm to the touch as you look at this potion. Kind of like sniffing it a little bit. You get the sense that this potion may assist you in some ways and maybe not assist you in others, depending on the whim of fate, one might say.
Hmm.
So you get the idea that you may have a higher chance of rolling a 20 and an equally higher chance of rolling a 1, should you take this potion.
I don't get it. What do you mean my chances?
Pardon?
Well, what do you mean like I have higher chances of rolling each?
Essentially, if you take this potion, an 18 or a 19 will also be considered a 20, like a critical. And a 2 and a 3 will be considered a 1, a fail.
Hmm.
So
Okay.
there's like a little bit extra going on with the numbers.
I see.
So discerning that, what do you do?
Seems like the sort of thing that I would not take on a random evening. Seems like a special drink.
All right, I'll put it away.
Mrs. Q just goes and orders another cup of tea.
Easy enough to do. Kriga has like one barista still on staff now that you've come back a couple times, just for you. The only one ordering tea yet. Like 9 o'clock at night.
What's the rest of the group feel like they want to do?
I'm good.
You're good? You want to keep partying?
Probably like a little bit, but I'm probably gonna settle in. I don't have much.
I hear they have an apothecary in this town.
You know, Apoc. I think we probably shouldn't, just in case. Mainly because I've made some investments, and I don't want to be hungover tomorrow.
All right. But okay, but if I don't get my bow back, we're finding one. Deal?
Not a problem.
Perfect.
Finding.
Can I make a deception
Yeah,
check?
like you find
Sure.
one. Can I contest it?
Yeah. I don't quite know what the lie is.
22.
Oh, I had an 18.
You believe him.
That's why we're such good friends.
It's nice to see you growing into some responsibility, Cam.
Sure thing. Absolutely.
So unless anyone wanted to do something specific, I'm assuming we can time skip. Whatever evening you choose to have, you can go and rest whenever you feel like it. And you wake up the next morning back at, oh gosh, I believe you were at the Golden Galleon.
Yep.
Yeah. In the Canopy Market. So that level very close to the top of the Alderheart tree. You were just really, really tired after staying up all night, pretty much the night before. So definitely needed 2 sleeps very close together. But it is the morning. You do notice a lot of hustle and bustle in the Golden Galleon. It wasn't this busy, basically like the morning before. It seems like there are a lot of newcomers and travelers, and you do notice a few people kind of wearing the colors of the flip-flips, leaning into the name. The colors of the flip-flips, the carnival folk that you met on the road. As everyone seems to be waving little banners and little flags, and even in the lobby of the Golden Galleon, you notice the colors of the Night Father and the Dawn Mother, Andrea and Titan, the 2 kind of founding Amaranthine that are worshipped here in Humblewood. You notice the moons of Titan's symbol and basically the flowers and the sun of Ardea's symbol kind of plastered everywhere around. And everyone seems to be in an extremely good mood. The breakfast food is excellent this morning and very plentiful. And today is the day that you remember. You also have the audience with the council, finally, it seems like. But the morning is yours. would you like to do?
We woke up before dawn.
I would say close to dawn, maybe a little bit after, but not by much.
Guys, we slept in. We were supposed to meet them at dawn.
Really? Did I say that last time?
I've got tomorrow at dawn written down.
Oh shoot.
Okay. Can we?
Well, I can retcon and say that that's an Andrea mistake. That's a DM mistake because I didn't listen to it. And there was a lot that happened last week. You will wake up in time for your appointment. I will say that.
Do we wake up in time to have breakfast before our appointment?
Yes. Yes, you do.
What's for breakfast exactly?
So it's kind of along the same spread that you had before because you're at one of the wealthier inns. There was all type of fruit that you don't normally see, like a lot of those stone fruits, the peaches, the nectarines, the apricots, a lot of nuts that you also don't normally see, being more from like the marshy region of Humblewood. And then you do have your, I think I said there was a wizard who was making like waffles last time where he flipped 2 irons in the air and flipped them back when they were done. And this time they have like a type of honey that you can throw on top. So it's much of the same spread, just like far more plentiful than what you ever saw before.
Yay.
Hey, Mr. Wizard, could I get some eggs?
Oh no, I'm out of practice, holy smokes. Yes, of course. What would you like on your eggs?
Could I
Just
just?
an eggs Benedict? Would you like poached? Would you like some sauce on top?
I kind of want my eggs Ardea side up.
Not a problem. Getting into the spirit early, I see. And they'll kind of like turn his back on you and just shift things around. You see like pans flying and spatulas flying on their own. And then he'll kind of flip over his shoulder this perfectly cooked egg that just sort of lands on your plate.
Hey, thanks.
You kind of get like hip checked a little bit from a kid who's about waist height holding his plate up for the same thing.
Sir Basil, please wait.
Hey now.
Hilarious.
I'm curious, what are the colors of the Dawn Mother and Night Father?
The Night Father, if I remember correctly, the Night Father is Titan. You being residents of Humblewood would know that the story of Titan is he basically is like an Apollo. He is friends with the moon and kind of guides it across the night sky. So he is a lot of like deep blues, blacks, like ebonies almost. Ardea is the Dawn Mother, and she was the first one to bring light to Humblewood. The reason why the rays of the sunshine are able to pierce the forest and bring life to the otherwise stale rock. And her symbol is like 2 wings with a bright gold sun in the middle, and there's mixes of golds and whites and yellows in her symbol.
Okay.
And that's what you kind of see adorned basically everywhere. A very joyous day for everyone. But I will say, as you do finish your breakfast, you notice that it is getting to be closer and closer to the time that you should probably start making your way to the council chambers, unless there is any stops you need to make along the way.
If I could stop in to pick up the bow, that would be fantastic.
The bow at Tabitha's?
If I could. And I don't know if I have time to go find the gloves to put a bow in that loop.
So the gloves, I will say probably not. That was far down in the trunk market.
Good.
And if we're saying it's closer to dawn, then
Let's go
it's
grab.
probably not a good idea.
Can I just stop in at Tabitha's before we get over there? I'll take 2 seconds. No worries.
And actually, I will say, because it's very early in the morning, as you kind of swing by Tabitha's and knock on the shaded door, it doesn't look like the the shop is open just yet. It's like a 7 a.m. kind of thing on a holiday.
I picked the lock.
You pick the lock. Okay, go ahead and make a thieves tools check.
Right now, like, are we all standing around with you, or are you like, where is everybody else?
Don't worry. As an expert rogue, I rolled a 9 on my thieves tools.
Excellent drawing, Sean.
Doesn't quite work.
All right, I'll get it later. Let's go, guys.
A 9, really?
Hey, you said you'd get my bow back.
Yeah, well, it's closed. I'll come back when it's open. Like, it's like 6 in the morning. Come on.
No. We gotta get this first.
Do I see the bow in the shop through a window or anything?
Okay, make a perception check. It's a shop window, like the blinds are down, the closed sign has been flipped on the door, so you can see like under a crack.
17.
Okay, looking under the crack in the window before the blinds come all the way down, you can see it is dark in Tabitha's shop. There's nobody in there. You do see like materials kind of spread along the bench, almost like a work bench, as opposed to the clean counter that you've noticed from Tabitha before. You don't see the bow necessarily, but you do see something that kind of looks like, you know, how the bow comes to the top with a string. Like you think you maybe see that poking from behind the counter, but it's not laid out bare for just anybody to see from the street.
How far is it?
So Tabitha's shop, it's a fairly big shop to be in the Canopy Market. It's like around, I don't know, like a 40-foot round kind of shop. So you're at one end of the 40 feet that's on the other side. The counter's on the other side of the shop so that you peruse her wares before you get to the counter.
So like 30 feet?
No, like 40 feet.
Okay. All right. Okay, Apoc, we're going to have to come back later.
Can I try something?
Sure.
This will be really quick. Is there like a envelope flap or anything? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, guys, I need you to do something. And I just whisper to my fleas, can you sneak in and just unlock the door for us?
Oh my
Your
goodness.
police can do that?
So I'm going to use them as mage hand.
Oh, that's so cool.
And I don't know if he'll let me do it, but it's the Swarm Keeper's magic. So how I picture it is it's the fleas coming off of Apoc's body, passing through and forming a hand on the other side to then just open the lock.
What?
Cool. And it follows Mage Hand's rules, like weight limits and everything.
It is mage hand, but it's
Okay.
using that to cast it,
That's so cool.
essentially.
Yeah, I mean, it's still a lock. You notice that there's like a deadbolt and a chain. Like there's a couple different locks that you have to kind of maneuver that you can't quite see through the window.
Okay, if I can't see it, then it would be difficult. Yeah.
I mean, you can. You have to be able to see it.
Well, it doesn't say, but I imagine myself trying to unlock something I can't see would be pretty tough.
Yeah, it kind of feel like you're kind of groping to find it, but you are. I mean, it's just a lock. It's not a magical lock on Tabitha's shop. She's an enchanter, but not quite paranoid enough that somebody would break in at 6 a.m.
On a holiday.
Okay,
on a holiday.
it does say to open an unlocked door. So your choice. For mage hand.
For Mage Hand?
Yeah, open an unlocked door.
But you're undoing the locks. I mean, it's the same thing. It's a chain. It's a dent.
Yeah.
So I would say that's
Okay.
fair game. And yeah, you're able to open it, and it pops forward.
Is it ready? Can we leave a note? You paid for this already, right?
Always leave a note.
You paid for it?
I'm pretty sure I paid for it ahead of time.
Think you did?
The amount of money in my purse would say so.
I'm pretty sure you did.
Yeah.
I remember looking this up last
Well,
time.
before you take it, and let's make this quick. Before you take it, here's an arrow. Take a quick shot. Don't break it. Don't break anything.
Anybody willing?
Just shoot at the floor.
Sir
You
Basil,
can't shoot the floor. That's hard. I'm gonna break the bow.
as soon as you say anybody willing, Sir Basil just immediately like hides behind something.
Okay.
What was the spell again, Eric? Remind me?
It was magic mouth. So
Right, magic mouth. Okay.
with the command that every time the bow fires an arrow, a little mouth appears on the bow and says, check my bore log.
Right, that's right.
Okay. You know what? Let's do it. And Apoc just runs to the front door, pulls one back, and shoots into the sky. Straight up.
Okay.
In the store?
No, outside.
Okay.
You're gonna fire off a shot in the middle of Alderheart,
Nobody's around, right?
straight into the sky.
Nobody's around.
There are people, but where the entrance to Tabitha's shop is, it's on the diagonal alley, so you are technically
Okay.
tucked away. You're technically tucked away.
Okay,
You're
no,
not
I
in the
won't
middle of
do
the
that.
street. You can if you want.
I'll just fire one at the wall.
Okay. In the shop?
No, outside.
Okay. You are tucked away enough. You're not going to draw attention firing into the wall. And as you pull back and go and do it, the little mouth does appear and you hear as it seems like the enchantment is not quite ready yet.
What was that?
I kind of like that more because Andrea will have to do that every time.
What did you do to my bow?
It's not ready. It's clearly not ready. You're rushing things. We gotta go. We have an appointment. We're gonna be late.
What am I gonna shoot?
I don't know. Here, take a knife.
Okay, and I guess we put the bow back and then relock up.
I mean, inside, now that you're closer to the counter, you do notice there's a bunch of you can even see some residue on your bow where it seems like she's been using powders and crystals almost. It looks more like a workbench, like she was working on this after she closed. So it is like an in progress kind of station right now.
You better hope I don't need this.
Promise.
I won't make you roll for it. Don't worry.
Can we relock up and leave?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
We best get going. We have an appointment to make.
And I take back my comment about you growing into your responsibility.
One step at a time.
So as you make your way you have to go one floor up for the council chambers. Being there quite a few times now, actually, within the 3 days you've been here. You're taking the stairs or the elevator. Again, it's more bustly than you would expect for this time of day, but it seems like it's like a Christmas morning kind of feel, where everybody's up super early, getting ready for the festivities, and you can get a very beautiful view of the canopy market below. And even looking down the elevator shaft, you catch some activity in the trunk market far, far, far below you. And as you get up to the, oh boy, I forget what it's called. As you get up to the Council Plaza, kind of along the same lines, although a little more subdued, it's not so much a place of gathering as it is a almost tourist stop, as well as where all of basically the Parliament building of Alderheart. You notice that there is somebody at what looks to be like an announcement board of some sort, kind of banging and hanging a poster, all kind of decked out in colors. Even the poster looks a little bit pretty among the other posters that are a little more stale there. You see the barracks once more, the magistrate's house once more, and you see the doors to the council chambers themselves open, flanked by two perch guard in the full get-up uniform, armor super, super sparkly, like good soldiers cleaning their armor every single day. No spider webs to be seen. And you do see one person kind of make their way up these really ornate grand staircase towards the door. kind of speaking to one of the guards. The guard seems to like check a list and then ushers them through the doors itself. Otherwise, it looks like the magistrate and the barracks are still a little on the closed side this early in the morning.
I assume, is it the same as like the previous times where in order to get into this area, we had to like check our weapons and stuff?
So that was to get into the magistrate's office specifically, which is one of the homes, one of the places in this area. Okay. Otherwise, it is this wide open plaza, beautiful. You can see like pieces of the sky above you. You're really, really high up. The main building in this area, that's the word I was looking for, is the council plaza itself. It looks like it's a giant semicircle that's really taking up one whole half of this plaza. Very Colosseum-esque, very big, very beautiful and ornately carved. A massive grand staircase leading up with the magistrate's office and the barracks kind of along the same scrolling architecture, almost opposite it. And you are right now kind of in the middle, like a cobblestone open area, pretty much.
So we still have our weapons and all our possessions.
For right now, you do, but you haven't gone in any buildings in this case.
The only thing I want to say is that Sir Basil probably, rather than walking around with the spider head, still put it in a satchel, so it's more conspicuous. So like inconspicuous, yeah. So he's just got it in a big extra satchel that he has. He's just carrying it.
You're carrying it with you still?
Yeah.
I imagine you looking like those teeny little 4-year-old tots on their way to kindergarten with the backpacks that are twice the size of them.
Picture like Mike Złowski from Monsters University, like a big backpack. That's essentially what's going on with Sir Basil.
Except it's not smelling super good. It's now 2 days old.
Ew.
And it's like, when you looked at it this morning, one of the fangs was starting to like droop as, spiders have an exoskeleton, right? So that chitin only last for so long before it starts to deteriorate a little bit faster. So it's not, you look very good in your polished armor, but there's a little bit of a must.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. His thinking is he's holding on to it in the event that he has to whip it out in the council meeting to be like, look at this. She has plop a dead spider head on the floor or something. I don't know.
Mrs. Q.
Super gross.
Because Mrs. Q would have walked, like, because we all went up together, she would have smelt you.
Yeah.
And she
spritzed me with something.
leans over and gives you what the nursery rhyme would call a pocket full of posies to try and deal with the smell. You could just like keep it on you to try and
shove it in the satchel.
Yeah, it's a little bit. It's kind of like a sweet and musty sort of smell now, like rotting fruit almost, but it kind of works.
Cool.
Sean's stomach is turning. But as you make your way, I'm assuming, up the staircase towards the council chambers, towards those guards that are standing outside. Just stop me if you don't want to go or you don't want to do this. But I'm assuming you are. As you make your way up the staircase towards the guards, you now see that there are two flanking the doors and one kind of standing in the middle, that one that looked to speak to the person, the humble folk who came before you, and just sort of stands up very straight on high alert, kind of controlling the traffic in, and regards each and every one of you almost individually, and just clipboard in hand. You're here to see the council?
That's correct. We have an appointment.
Okay. Can I take your name?
Rosemary Quillam.
Okay. Quillam, how do you spell it? Like with a K?
With a Q,
With a Q.
of course.
Okay, I don't see you on here. What were you going to see the council about?
I'm afraid that's a rather private matter. But the magistrate assured us that we had the first appointment of the day.
Oh, the schedule change. Got it. He didn't know what to write down for your names, so we'll just have to. There's supposed to be 5 of you. And at this point, you notice Dace is nowhere to be seen.
Partied a little too hard.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, the magistrate signed off on this. I'm gonna need to leave your weapons here.
Basil takes his sword, his bow, hands it over.
Right. And at this point, you kind of see him remember and almost take like a tiny little scroll out and just sort of looks at the scroll. Okay, so you're the one there. And it's almost like matching your descriptions to what's on the scroll, since I don't think the magistrate really had any of your names or a group name for that matter.
Well, he just kept forgetting mine.
That's also true.
Yeah.
He might not have paid enough attention. But as he kind of like checks the list, makes sure each of you matches the physical description. Basil, you hand over your weapons. He'll kind of look expectantly at the rest of you. Council rules. You understand, right? Everyone in there rules out the hot.
Can I keep the arrows if I don't have a bow?
We prefer you leave the really sharp pointed ones here. Get them back.
Okay.
All right. You go in, there's like one person ahead of you, but they should be quite fast. I don't think their concern is huge, but just wait by the hole. There's another person there, and then you'll be called into the council when ready. And as you, sorry?
We head in, I was just gonna say.
As you head in, you realize that it's a really cool place. You follow the semicircle to the left. And as you kind of walk around, you get almost snippets through very narrow windows, or I guess openings in the curvature of the walls that you didn't notice from the outside. Since it's almost like a solid outside with a windowed inside in this hallway, like a breezeway. And as you kind of loop around and get snippets of down in whatever the opening is of the Colosseum, you can see very briefly like a really beautiful dais that is completely surrounded by raised seats, almost like a theater or like the peanut gallery, for example. You do see a few people just looking like everyday citizens kind of sitting in the gallery watching the proceedings below or waiting for it to start. And you get a very brief visual, though you notice that there isn't any direct visual on what seems to be like 5 pedestals, 5 council members. You can kind of briefly count them just from the way the carving of the trunk of Alderheart seems to go. And as you sort of wind your way around, you notice you go down a staircase, down one more until you're what you assume to be at the dais level, the lowermost level of this theater. You see a couple perch guard kind of scattered throughout, and one of them is waiting beside this very massive door. It's like a 2-story tall door with a few very comfortable looking seats, not like the magistrate's office. And the guard will just kind of gesture for you to sit. And you do start to hear at this point like voices on the other side of the door. There seems to be a discussion going on, a little bit muffled. You can hear someone being very animated about something. And as you wait and wait and wait for your turn, 10 minutes go by, 20 minutes go by, the door finally bumps open. and you can see a like very delighted older rabbit folk. So like a white little bunny with two very big ears, but both are kind of flopping out. Got a little bit of gray along his snout, some whiskers that are sagging a little bit, but in very, very fine purple robes with some very deep blue kind of laced around. Not quite overtly the colors of the festival, but still a very colorful person. And he's got a little bit of a spring in his step as he kind of nods to you almost subconsciously and
Hey, check out my
hops
blog.
away.
Hey, check out my blog.
He's in such a good mood, he'll just like grab whatever piece of paper you're handing him and just little hop in his step as he makes his way back out. The guard on the other side of the door will kind of look at all of you and just sort of gesture. It's your turn. The council will hear you now.
Oh, we go in. That's the guy coming out. That's not the. Oh, I waved at the wrong guy.
You just waved at some dude. Yeah, as you walk in, you see now better this beautifully carved platform, this dais, and there are indeed like 5 pedestals, again, kind of in a semicircle at the far end. You see that as soon as you step foot on the dais itself, it almost kind of like shifts and moves as 5, or how many, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 little pedestals kind of raise up, one for each of you at the very perfect height that you need.
On the way.
You can see like one person just sort of tucked behind the 5 raised pedestals that seems to be like casting something to almost will these into existence out of the tree itself. And behind each one of the daises, you see, oh no, they closed on me. Open. You finally see the 5 members of the Birdfolk Council. Right in the middle, you see this bright gallus, essentially a peahen, pure white, in robes of like really, really deep ebony, with the blue of Titan kind of wrapped around her sleeves. You see to her right a male raptor, quite big, a little bit on the older side, in very golden eagle sort of colors, like very, very bright yellow plumage or golden plumage. To his right, you see a strig, extremely small burrowing owl strig, very tawny feathers, very, very big eyes, a super cute face. She seems quite young as she is just sort of like almost following each of you, head going exactly with you, but eyes in a deadlock stare. To the left of the white peahen in the middle, you see a male luma who looks very much like a mourning dove. So more of a peachy, browny, tawny kind of feather tone with some little black cheeks in his plumage. And on his left, you see a corvum, very, very deep, ebony black feathers with, and it's kind of funny, it almost looks like a Santa Claus beard of white kind of coming down his neck and disappearing into the collar of his robes. And all of them kind of look at each of you as you walk in and almost subconsciously take your place at each of your little pedestals, and are kind of standing until you're comfortable, at which time they take their seats. Except for the female bright gallus, the white peahen on the middle pedestal. As she regards each of you, that little, you know how peacocks have their little plume on their head? She has that as well. And as she regards each of you, she kind of very gently opens her hands. And although when she speaks, her voice is soft, you can hear it almost boom throughout the gallery. Welcome to the council chambers, everyone. I am Speaker Bitta, and I'd like to thank you for your patience, as I'm sure you have waited quite long to see us. What do you bring forward that requires our attention?
Who wants to speak for the group?
Can I do something before we start?
Sure.
Can I use, and I haven't done this before, my primeval awareness?
Sure. What does that do?
I want to, or I get to know if there are any aberrations, celestials, dragons, elementals, fays, fiends, or undead within a mile of me. I don't know where they are or how many. I just sense that they're there.
Within a mile of you.
Yeah.
Okay. Elderheart's pretty big. A mile in relation to Elderheart is not a lot. I don't think you get any pings.
No? Okay. That's all I want to know.
Okay.
Apoc knows he's probably not the talker out of this group.
Okay.
Maybe Miss Quillam as our distinguished representative, distinguished for charisma and intelligence, presiding. And I bow to the elders. And
So great.
Sir Basil salutes them and then with Miss Quillam.
You can see like one very small fox-like creature, a vulpin, but more on like the white winter Arctic fox ones, kind of like scribbling away on a piece of parchment, seated right next to, right in front of the Speaker Bitta's platform, as she's just sort of scribbling, looks at you bowing, scribbles a bit more, and then is almost looking expectantly.
Okay. We bring grave news from beyond the great tree.
You may have to be more specific.
while she does that, can I like almost like ASL style start casting minor illusion and try to like put images to the words she's saying, like the great tree and like
Oh, I love it.
Love it. Absolutely love it. Absolutely. That's awesome. You actually get a couple from some of the citizens of Alderheart that are in the popcorn gallery watching. It is like an open ceremony or an open proceedings.
Okay. Most of us who are before you today hail from the town of Meadowfen, or at least that is where our journey began. This is great. How long ago was it? How many days has it been since we left Meadowfen?
Like 2 weeks or something like that?
It's been about 2 weeks-ish, yeah.
About 2 weeks ago, while we were going about our regular business with the townsfolk, we learned of a horror that occurred in Ashborough, the neighboring town, that had been consumed almost completely by the scorched grove.
You get a few gasps.
Apoc's also, to just add to this, walking around as she had comments with a magnifying glass, working through the town, and then as she says the next part, because I'm assuming you go to the next town, Apoc starts pulling out his manacles and getting ready to put them on Sir Basil, and thinking we're just doing the whole skit. And Cam, yeah.
Skipping that bit was skipping that bit.
Sorry, okay.
I'm trying to avoid.
We were sent by our
Village elder.
Village elder to bring news of this to Elderheart because we're in desperate need of some help. The Scourge Grove seems to be expanding beyond the capacity of our small villages to compensate for, and we desperately need the help of the Great Tree and its Perch Guard in order to protect any additional villages from getting consumed by the grove. And if that's not bad enough, while we were on our way here, we passed through Winnowing Reach, which has been experiencing horrendous issues with bandits of a very peculiar type that seem to have control over fire. We also,
as she says, bandits of a peculiar type, Apoc just throws out the coalition leather armor on the ground to emphasize it.
And I come up with the image of the guy I killed.
In his old armor.
Oh my god, you guys.
we also
Like out of the corner of your eye, like a mother covering the eyes of her small child in the gallery.
Cartoon blood.
We also had to fend off an entire swarm of ember bats that had graced us with their presence far out of their usual bounds. You can, if you don't take our word for it, then we were traveling with a companion, Eliza, of the, oh shoot, what did she decide to call her place?
Oh, the story?
Yeah.
I don't think
I gave her like 20 names and she didn't take
Can
any
you,
of
can you
them.
come up with that
Okay.
name? You should mention the mayor of Winnowing Reach sending us.
Oh, yes.
But sure, Eliza.
Yeah, but the mayor of Winnowing Reach requested that we bring this news to you as well. Suffice to say that the outskirts of our great Humblewood is in desperate need of some extra help, and so we have come requesting that help and asked that you would do it as quickly as possible because people's lives and livelihoods are at stake. Thank you very much for listening.
And bow.
Sir Basil kind of looking at them bow between bows as well.
Oh gosh.
I welcome your questions.
I bring up the little question word like in the end of a slideshow.
Oh my gosh, in a PowerPoint with like the, oh god. You see the faces on the council as well as like the murmurs from the gallery. As you bring up Ashborough and the Grove expanding, there's like shock and gasps from the gallery where there is a few looks of concern, a few glances at the Speaker Bitta in the middle of the pedestals, although she herself seems very stoic. As you bring up the issues in Winnowing Reach, you see a few of the council members almost like nod, kind of like an understanding almost. And as you bring up the bandits, there's a few like wrinkled, actually nobody can wrinkle their nose because they're birds. You see a few like
Ruffled feathers,
yeah, getting a little poofy, like, ugh. And as you continue your story with your plea for help, you can see there being a little bit of restlessness from both the council as well as from the gallery itself. And Speaker Bitta just kind of like holds up a single hand. Everyone falls silent once more in the gallery. We might have to break this down just a little because that was a lot.
I can't break it down now.
Okay. You don't have to add that in. It's fine. It doesn't need to be part of the proceedings. As she speaks to the little Arctic fox below her.
That was the little Arctic fox.
Basically the scribe. We are aware, first and foremost, of Winnowing Reach. They have already received aid, at least it was sent with as many perch guard as we can spare on the roads. And we have received word that they have made it there safely. However, this news of Ashborough is disturbing. Are you certain in what you say?
We are certain Ashborough is no more. There was a single solitary survivor that made it to Meadowfen with the news.
And Meadowfen's ask is aid.
Yes, we are geographically the next the next target of the grove. We are the next closest.
You can see her almost take a bit of a breath. And she'll kind of like look to the male raptor on her right. And you hear so the grove is expanding then. The male raptor kind of like is nodding, taking notes himself, looking at each of you, looking back at the speaker and the other members of the council. We have no more perch guard that we can spare. Everyone we could spare was sent to Ashborough. If bandits were to attack us right now, we would be at a bit of a disadvantage. But, and she's going to kind of look over to that person you saw that was shaping the tree. And she's going to look over towards the burrowing owl with the really big yellow eyes. Perhaps, Layla, we could send some of the tenders to see if they can repair what's been damaged and rein in the grove. And you can hear now the female strig in a very high-pitched voice that I don't know if I'm going to be able to do. The female burrowing owl just.
Yes, we can likely do so. I think there's a few other people that we can send that way. Travel might be tight, so we'll have to see. But if they can transform, then maybe they can fly there themselves. Seems a bit important.
And Speaker Bitta kind of nods, gestures at the Arctic fox who's madly scribbling down. And just out of curiosity, who has a passive perception over 12?
Mine is 12.
Yours is 12?
Yeah.
14.
14.
13.
14.
Yours is 10.
Yours is 10. Okay. So everyone except for Sir Basil, who's kind of like enraptured in the conversation, just out of the corner of your eye as this conversation is going on about Ashborough's destruction, what's going to be done about it, the lack of resources that could be sent. You see a strig who seems to be in a like leather tunic, something that you know would be worn under like heavy plate armor. And you see him get up quite abruptly as this conversation is going on, just sort of gripping the rails. This is out of the corner of your eye, just kind of gripping the rails. He's right in the front row of the gallery, really leaning in to pay attention. And as the conversation goes on, talk of the tenders who are going to be sent instead of perch guard. You can see him kind of his chest rising, falling as he slowly kind of exits from the gallery. More like a tawny feathered strig. That's really all you kind of get.
Do I recognize the strig?
Would Cam have spent any time on the east side of Alderheart? Or sorry, the east side of Humblewood?
I would think so. Possibly. Yeah, that's the coastal side, right?
It's closer to the mountains, yeah.
Crest Mountains.
Actually, no, you're kind of from the area around Meadowfen, around Marshview.
Yeah, but I so probably not, because I did spend some time on the Talon Grip coast, probably not up by the mountains.
Okay, so in that case, I'll get you to make a history check, but I'm going to get you to make it with disadvantage.
Okay. 15 plus 4, 19.
Ooh, okay.
Wow.
You don't get a super good look at him. You only kind of realized he was there because he stood up and left. There might be something about him that kind of tickles your memory, but almost like I've seen you before, never actually talked to you. You might have passed through my hometown once. Kind of situation. That kind of like sort of a not really.
Not a particular strig that I would know and would be very afraid of.
No, not what you're thinking of. And as this is kind of happening off to the side while the council is sort of discussing, I'm afraid that's all we can do for Ashborough right now. I truly hope that this is the truth, because this is all we can spare. And I'm assuming you wouldn't be coming here with anything less.
Would we know? So we know what the perch guard is and what they are. Would we know? You said that they're the tenders.
The tenders.
And what are the tenders?
A group of chickens.
I will get everybody to make a. You can make a history check or a nature check.
And
A 9.
Also a 10.
Actually thinks they're chicken tenders.
Oh no.
He misheard, and that's all he's thinking about now.
You know that they kind of, whether by context clues or just overhearing something, you know that the tenders are kind of like a faction of sorts. But you've never really seen one. You've never really like encountered one before. If anything, you know that they're mostly located in the Scorched Grove.
Okay. So would we have an idea of like comparing them to the perch guard? Are they like in terms of like holding their own in a fight, or how like strong they are? Is it like perch guard tenders? Like perch guard tender, like they're equal? Like
Right.
are they sometimes like the D team, and we're just like, what?
Yeah. I'll also say from context clues, because the speaker kind of looked over to that tree shaper that was kind of to her left. You get the sense that the tenders, looking at the tree shaper themselves, they're definitely, this bird folk shaping this tree definitely has more of a druidic air to her. Not so much an armored air to her.
Okay.
I mean, from the term tender, it kind of sounds more like they care for the trees. So they have like a level of control over nature. So maybe that's why they would send them to try and contain a natural thing.
Okay. Hearing this, and because Sir Basil wants to get rid of the head, I'm going to say, surely there must be more that you can do. The dangers of the grove are much closer than you believe. We have seen not only bandits, we have seen like fiery creatures such as Emberbat and creatures that can control fire, and then he throws the bag on the floor, and creatures at your very doorstep as like this spider head just like spews out right in front of them. The dangers of the grove are here. We need to take this seriously. We need the perch guard.
They're kind of like, oh, that was that smell. And you can now like really smell the pungent aroma in here. A couple gasps because it's ugly and gross and scary. It's huge. All through this, again, the speaker is very stoic. She's practiced at this. She'll kind of hold up one more hand. Mr. Jabin, I understand. And I hope you know that we are not fluffing this off. We are taking it seriously, but there is only so much we can do. Alderheart was ravaged by a sickness 5 years ago that took out most of our force. Other than that, we've sent as many reinforcements as we can to Bracken Mill, to the Talongrip coast. We've sent forces to Winnowing Reach already. The tenders tend the grove.
If anyone can figure out why it is spreading, it is those that are closest with nature. And no amount of armor or strength is going to give you insight into something that is not armored. Please understand we're doing our best. And that the care of Humblewood is our utmost priority as the council who rules it. As for what you've placed at our feet, what is this? Where did it come from?
What should I just say? This creature was slain within the depths of your very city.
Within the Underfall, within the roots of Alder.
Indeed.
We've had no reports of a creature like this. Was it in someone's home? Was it in a neighborhood?
Have you heard of people disappearing in the Underfall?
You see like kind of the council members sort of shift and look at each other. One of them kind of puts like a hand to their chest.
It's not uncommon with the amount of refugees that we've had to take in. Unfortunately, people get sick. People can be swayed quite easily by the bandits. We know that they have sources and spies among us. Sometimes people leave. There are always disappearances.
Some of those disappearances were due to these giant spiders capturing people and killing them.
She kind of like gives a little sigh and just looks over to looks back over to the raptor on her right.
Have we had any reports of something like this, Bertolt? Anything that you know of?
And he kind of like shuffles his papers and just.
No reports of giant spiders, unfortunately. Well, I guess not unfortunately, but how deep could you retrace your steps, maybe? If there's a way in, we should seal it, right?
And he kind of looks around. There's mutterings of,
yeah, we should seal it. Yeah, what if more get in? Like, yeah. We were to seal whatever entrance. Would that solve the problem, do you think? Or is this the one and only, are they gone? If it's a quick fix, then we can get a blacksmith there maybe. And
he's kind of looking around, shooting off ideas, like trying to find a solution.
We can certainly show you where we found them. We killed all the ones that we found there, but doesn't.
That's good. Okay, that's good. That's good. Great.
Sir Basil's going to say a quick fix might deal with this issue, but it is your responsibility as members of the council to take care of all those who take refuge in Elderheart, whether refuge or the highest noblemen. More serious action should be taken.
If you would like to try and do our job, you're more than welcome to, Sir Basil. Is it?
Yes.
Here's the thing. If the bandits take over our supply routes in the Talongrip coast, where we've allocated a lot of our forces, we lose a lot of our food. How are we supposed to take care of our refugees then?
I don't
stretch as thin as we can.
None of us are disputing that you are trying your best. We're merely trying to point out to you that there are areas where things are falling through the cracks, and you may need to reshuffle or readjust your priorities, or at the very least, investigate why these things are happening. Is it I gather from your reaction to the news about Ashborough that this is not the first time you've heard about the possibility that the Scorched Grove is expanding.
To the north, the Scorched Grove has been consuming more and more forest.
And
We've known that for a while. It's been quite common knowledge here in Elderheart. Why do you think we have so many refugees?
It just
The
seems
expansion in the west is not yet been heard.
so you have known it for a while, yet have not been able to stop it thus far.
The tenders have contained it as best as possible. If it was not for them, then well, we would not be here.
What is required to contain it? What is it that they're doing that is sort of working?
The magic of the Scorched Grove is ancient. I'm not certain how much you know of it, but it's been here for as long as any of us can remember, and no matter what we've tried so far, the fire consumes it all. The tenders are one with the nature of the grove. They've been able to grow and adapt their magic to it and thus contain it to sorts, but it's not natural magic. We haven't been able to figure out what it is. The AVM is working as hard as they can to figure it out, but any party that has ventured into the grove to find its source has not returned.
Well, it seems
Dangerous place that we're trying to contain without fully understanding what it is.
my dear, we've been living right next to it for years. We are perfectly aware of how dangerous it is. We're saying that if it isn't handled properly and the appropriate amount of resources put towards it, then it will spread to the wood and it will spread right here. So it needs to be a priority.
As you can see, it is our priority, my dear.
Does that mean you're willing to fund our expedition?
Excuse me?
I mean, it sounds like we're going to have to go take care of this.
Anyone is welcome to go and see the tenders and venture into the grove, but I don't recommend it.
People are dying.
We understand.
I was one lucky enough to get a second chance. Most people don't get second chances. If you need help solving this problem, it's the least I can do for the gifts that I've been given. We just need help. If you're not going to help us with sending someone to take care of this, at least help us get to the bottom of this.
We're not disagreeing on any fact here. But I'm telling you, we can only do so much. If you are willing to venture into the grove, might I suggest, let's allow the tenders to take a look at what remains of Ashborough. Let's allow them to come back with a better understanding of what we're facing. Have you seen Ashborough yourself? Can you provide us with more information? From the sounds of it, there was one survivor you mentioned, and you came straight here. Am I missing something of your story, a bit of information that we can use? Or should we wait for a tender troop to return? If they have better information, I'm more than happy to partner with whoever you are. She'll kind of look left and right. We understand people are dying. And you can kind of see almost like a subconscious move towards her left wrist before coming back to like a stationary hand.
When are the tenders supposed to be back?
We can send word to a troop of tenders who are located in the west of the grove.
How long does that take?
Last time I understood where the tenders were, they weren't too far north of Ashborough itself, so it shouldn't take them long to get there. And it's a matter of them getting back. They have ways of travel, abilities to transform into animals that can cover great distances very quickly. We'll ask them to return at once they understand what they're focused on. If you leave a If you leave a way to contact you, then perhaps we can reconvene this conversation when we know what it is we are dealing with. We are fighting an unknown enemy, an enemy we've tried to understand for years. And when I say for years, I'm speaking about generations here. This is not something new. This is something very, very, very old. Is that an agreeable course of action?
Sir Basil kind of looks to the group, kind of eyeing them, trying to engage what they think.
I accept your request on the proviso that you specifically ask your tenders to be as quick as possible.
The tenders love the grove. They will try to figure out what's going on. They have been for as long as they've been around.
Mrs. Q just sighs, and you can see her quills like starting to stand on end as this woman's really rubbing her the wrong way.
Man.
As for the spiders in our roots, and she'll kind of look over to her right again. Whoa, something happened here. She'll look over to her right again, and you can hear the male raptor just like, yes, as for that, we'll grab the brigade from Winnowing Reach. Won't be here for another 2 days. Perhaps we can grab a couple of people who just got off duty, and we'll seal up whatever entrance it was. It was there. It was in the Underfall, you said?
Yeah, Sir Basil says that we would be more than willing to share with you the details of the opening that we found.
Yes, if you can just tell me, we'll seal it up, and then no creature can come through.
Of course.
May I ask a question?
That is a question.
How many? Huh?
No, because he said that is a question. You just asked.
Oh, well, this is very true.
Just to ignore whatever Sean says.
That was Apoc.
How many people, including refugees, do you have in Alderheart right now?
That's not in the book.
Here's where I'll tell you what I'm trying to get. I want to suggest that if they are having an issue with the number of perch guard, but they are inundated with refugees who I dare say would be perfectly willing to help fight against the thing that destroyed their homes, then maybe there should be
the people.
Yeah, if you've
We're starting a revolution.
Every man, woman, and child, grab your pitchfork.
The population of Alderheart has pretty much doubled, almost tripled in size due to the refugees from the outlying villages. We were not as packed as we were here before. And like I said, there was a sickness 5 years ago that took out a lot of people. And we're just starting to recover from something like that. We have cadets in training. They do join the Perch Guard, and they do get allocated here. Hi, Michelle. They do get allocated either here in Alderheart or to the outerlying cities. But it just goes to show how stretched we are. You can hear kind of a waver in her voice.
Okay, counterpoint. You know where these refugees are coming from, right? Why they're coming here?
They're coming for a number of reasons.
Yeah, so, I mean, doesn't a town potentially burning down and causing more refugees to come here raise alarm that other towns might burn down? And even more refugees flood in here, more and more and more. The bubble's going to burst at some point. Every refugee that comes in that doesn't have a spot is just going to create more sickness. You're going to have another plague that was rampant through this city like 5 years ago that's going to go rampant through it now. It's not sustainable. You need to invest big early to then treat the disease before it becomes systemic.
You lost me just a little bit.
Apoc lost himself a little bit too.
Through the use of magics, we've been able to control that. But I don't know what else we can do for you. The tenders are the best ones to assist in this situation. The avium is working on a way to understand what the grove is and how we can fight it. Everyone is working towards the same goal. But we have more than one problem that we're trying to work with here.
So let us help.
We have an arrangement where when the tender comes back, we will ask for your assistance, but we don't know what
So
we're
we're just supposed to sit here and wait? That's not my style. Is that your guys' style? You just want to sit here and let this thing burn through places? Ms. Q.
I'm sorry, who? Okay.
Sir Basil, Cam. Days.
Wherever you are.
Flash to Daisy in the karaoke bar. Flashback.
So Basil says in response, we cannot let the innocent and the helpless fall anymore. Action has to be taken. We understand that you are stretched. We understand that you are already doing what you can, but because of like the whole festival, he says, we're all children of the Dawn Mother and Night Mother. Mobilize your people, equip us. This is a battle for all of us, not just the tenders, not just the Birch Guard.
Here, here.
I mean, I understand what you're saying. And there is nothing that is stopping anyone from joining. But we cannot let civilians run into the scorched grove. That's something we will not do to protect them. If it's an evacuation of Meadowfen that needs to occur to go and relocate to Marshview, then we can escort. If it's an abandonment of the Alderheart tree to make sure that we can hold off maybe as a final step here at this magical tree. Perhaps there's some sort of protective magic we can weave around here and move to the outlying villages, make them bigger, make them homes, then we will do so. We'll do whatever is required to protect our people, but we will not equip them and send them to their deaths in the grove. I truly hope you understand that, or maybe we're not on the same side here.
Oh dear, there is no need to get your knickers in a twist. We're clearly all on the same side.
My dear, I think it might be almost time that the next group be heard from, if that is your concerns brought forward. Unless there is anything else you wish to notify us of, but this is a lot of information for us to take in.
Rebecca just says, we thank you for your time, and we will patiently wait for news from the tenders.
Should we need to get a hold of you? And she'll kind of gesture to the raptor on her right, Bertolt. Your name or names, where you're staying.
Golden Galleon, room 16A through D. Check out my blog.
And your names, should you leave?
Sir Basil. You guys can say your names.
Oh,
Oh, it's on the sheet, Apoc.
Oh, you wrote them all down?
Well, no, it's on my name's on the Borlog sheet.
Got it. Understood.
I don't think their names are.
Oh,
Oh,
you're
you're
on mute.
muted.
I'm sure whatever you said is awesome, but you're on mute.
Ernesto Bertrand.
Perception check.
22.
There's like a pause from Geralt as he's writing, but continues scribbling on. Right.
Can you write Dace down as well? Just Dace. He doesn't have a last name.
Right. Expect to hear from us in a few days should the tenders return with news. Otherwise, I invite you to seek your exit.
Do I have to
Okay.
like RSVP to that invitation or? Oh, we just go. Oh, okay.
Miss Quillam just gets up and walks out. She doesn't say thank you. She doesn't, whatever.
Wait, can I get that in writing? You guys will contact us?
Excuse me?
Well, I mean, he's taking notes, right? Can we get a copy of are these transcripts publicly available?
The transcript is publicly available.
Okay, that's all we need to know.
List.
No, I just wanted to make sure that we'd be able to come back here, and when we come back here, it wouldn't be awkward.
No, I think I speak for us all when I say we will absolutely remember you.
Cam, why do you look sad?
We have more citizens
Who's
to hear
Cam?
from, please.
Who's Cam?
All right, let's go.
I think you called him Cam like 4 times and he says Ernesto. All right. As you all go to leave the dais, you can see like the pedestals twisting back down so that it's a flat arena floor. You can see the council sort of all like shuffling papers, speaking to one another. And for the very first time, you can kind of see the speaker who remained very, maybe not as calm as she normally is, but who remained the most stoic of all of the 5, now speaking quite hurriedly to everyone else, kind of like absentmindedly almost grabbing her wrist as she is like coordinating, speaking to the different people as well as to the druid behind her. And as you exit, you see that there appear to be like 2 more groups sitting in the chairs waiting. One of them was anxiously like tapping their foot, sees you exit, instantly gets up and almost like trips on their robes as they go to step in. As you kind of make your way back along the curving hallway out into the grand staircase and back out into the plaza. I think we'll take a quick break there.
That was intense.
That was intense.
We were like in court. Like, whew.
out. You okay, love?
Getting
Sorry, I'm doing work stuff.
Oh, that's okay. All right, so we'll pick up right back where we left off after a heated conversation with the council, exiting back out into the council plaza on the top of that grand staircase just to the side of the very frilly poster board that now is just covered in flags. What would you guys like to do? The day of the festival is yours.
Man, we're so fired up. We didn't really get anywhere with the council. They're just a bunch of wimps.
Yeah,
Mm.
a nest of nincompoops.
I'm so angry. So angry I could like steal something.
I mean, you didn't promise me that bow.
Don't worry about the bow. It's paid for. I didn't steal the bow.
I'm not saying steal that bow, but
are
like,
we gonna just sit on our laurels and wait for the tenders? Or are we gonna get up and do something?
God, if only there is something we can do in this town today.
Would we know very much about the festival and the different things that are going to happen?
I mean, you've definitely seen things being set up in like the canopy market and the trunk market in certain areas. You've seen like stalls and booths. You definitely know the flip flips are here. So there is entertainment and performances. You don't know anything specific because everything was kind of in that weird stage where you see like half a Ferris wheel sort of situation for the town fair.
Mhm.
But it was getting a little bit packed in the trunk market, more so than usual, with a bunch of new stalls temporarily set up for the festival.
Okay. And I'm guessing it's still pretty early in Mola right now, right?
Yeah, after the little adventure at Tabitha's, looking at the council, which did take time, it's probably closer to like an 8 a.m., 8:30 sort of situation.
Okay. Would we know? So just as how like the Perch Guard have like a headquarters, would the tenders have like a headquarters?
Good question.
You don't know. You can go ahead and roll a history check. You don't know a whole lot about the tenders. But
13.
13. You don't know a whole lot about them. From what the speaker Bida was saying, they have almost like outposts, it sounds like, within the Scorched Grove. There's definitely one here. She was the druid behind the council who was shaping the tree of Aldehart to give you the pedestals that you had on the council floor. So it's possible that there's somebody else here that you just don't know of. But as for a headquarters, nothing has stood out to you in any of the markets, for example.
Okay.
There are people we could ask who know things around here.
Absolutely. You're getting to be a little more well connected with some of the owners of places, for sure.
What does everyone want to do?
Mrs. Q is like riled up enough that she is seriously contemplating starting an alternative to the Perch Guard and taking her own army to the Scorched Grove. She does not like the speaker lady and she kind of wants to stick it to her. But her old age is tempering her anger. She's also in desperate need of a cuppa after all that.
The day is yours with whatever it is that you choose to do with your time. There's a lot of people here.
What do you think?
Apoc wants to go see the flip flips.
Yeah, okay. We got time.
Or should we save that for later in the day? Because it's only 8 in the morning.
Yeah, but we need to go see when they're performing. We can't just show up and hope. I want to miss it. Do you?
Okay, yeah. Maybe we can head towards all the crowds and see like what type of things are going on.
Plus, we might be able to spot a tender if any of them are doing things for the festival.
They're wood bending. Three.
Yeah,
The woodbenders.
Wood vendors.
that would be such a cool. Wow. If you were a wood bender, would you technically be a water bender? Because the wood, like
I mean,
if you're bending live wood, then it is full of moisture. So could you, as a water bender, bend wood?
but it's like hard.
So,
It's not like
but they can also do like ice stuff, right? And blood bending.
Now we're asking the real questions.
Oh, man.
I'm getting into the law.
you're confusing it with like the moss, like the swamp people.
Hey, I got a quick question. Do I see any branches around?
Branches? Yeah, absolutely. You're in the canopy of the tree. There's
I
definitely
snap a branch off and I hand it to Basil. Here, take this. Can you fold this branch in half?
Can I?
Apoc, if you had a bow, what's your bow made out of?
Right now I think it's just oak.
I like your staff there, Mrs. Q. Why do we have to wait on the tenders? Why don't we wood bend our way into success? Why don't we call ourselves the woodbenders?
Could be the woodbenders. But technically I don't bend the wood though. I just draw the string.
Yeah, but you could have a bow made out of the wood, the magical wood of Elderheart.
But I'm getting a new bow already.
Isn't it just the old bow, but that speaks?
Well, he doesn't know.
I mean, isn't anything with something new just something old that's now new?
Wow, how philosophical for you, Apoc.
Yeah. I am one of a craftsman myself.
Like, how much coffee have you been drinking?
kidding. What?
All right, I thought I had something there. Okay, let's get going. Check out the flip flips.
Sir Basil,
You put a pin in that.
Yeah.
I don't mind that.
Sir Basil holds on to the branch. How big is this thing compared to Sir Basil?
Are you like dragging trees
I
with you?
mean, no, I'll say it's just like a little twig. Like,
Okay.
there's no way you're gonna be able to snap something bigger than a twig. This is outer heart. That's silly. So it's a twig.
Tucks it in his
All right. So as you start making your way back down, so back past the Canopy Market, it's been like an hour and a half here. It's definitely bustling. It's 8:30 in the morning, but good Lord, are people excited. It seems like Jace, who you met on the road with the flip flips, wasn't lying when he said that people could use a little bit of happiness. As there are a lot of people, no matter what class they are, that seem to be milling about in whatever clothes and colors they could scavenge for this type of an event. You do see the blinds on Tabitha's shop are now open. If you wanted to stop there, you're more than welcome to. Otherwise, if you're okay, you're going to stop there. You're able to pick up the bow, no problem. Tabitha is actually extremely excited when she kind of hands it over. Like, I just finished it this morning. It's so cool. We could work on the comments a little bit. So if you ever want to change it, just let me know, but it's done.
Cool. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
For the trouble, I flip her another gold coin just for the thanks, a little tip.
Oh, thanks. Cool. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, great.
Is it coming from thanks, or is it coming from guilt from having earlier broken into her place? No, I'm asking out of game. Just curious the motivation behind the tip.
It'd probably be like for the thanks for putting it together. I feel no remorse for breaking in.
There you go.
She wasn't here, so no one is the wiser.
If
Unless, of course, you left the arrow in the tree.
By the way, did anybody happen to leave some lock picking tools in the front door at all? No? Okay, cool. See ya, Tavika. Here you go,
A
Apoc.
really specific question.
Oh no, I'll catch it later. Did we get the bow? Sorry.
Yeah.
I kind of zoned out there.
There you go.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, your bow is now enchanted for no other purpose than advertising.
Yeah, I like draw an arrow and I shoot it right next to the one that's currently in the wall.
You hear just kind of like a smash as Tabitha is glaring at you outside the window. What's it supposed to say? It's check out my blog.
Check out my, my boar log?
That's what it was supposed to say.
Check out my boar log.
Check out my boar log. Check out my boar log. But it's like overly happy.
All right. Every time I shoot that, that's what it says.
Yes.
I'm not doing it. Fine.
Okay.
That's
Anytime you
a stealth mission.
someone or do an opportunity attack, check out my boar log.
Yeah. Hey, we gotta be quiet. Check out my boar log. Okay. But yeah, no problem. As you start to make your way down into the trunk market, it is bustling, but man, does it ever smell good. You smell something frying, you smell something baking, you smell something that is like super spicy and almost burns your nostrils as you're walking down or making your way down the elevator. And you can see that all of the shops, all of the tents of the stalls that have been set up are all in the colors of Ardea and Titan. Kind of like mixed and mismatched at times, like it's just been slammed together. And from a top-down view, as you kind of get your first glimpse of the overhead of the trunk market, it's almost like a kaleidoscope where all of the colors are just kind of melting and mixing. And as you make your way down, you can see like stalls that are starting to serve food, children that are running around with like cotton candy that's as big as them. You can see like fruits that are being carved and shaped with magic or what you assume to be magic. You can see one vendor who has like a floating knife that he's kind of using to shape like a nectarine or an apple into a rose for a paying customer. And you can see this huge like pole that is being set up kind of not right in the middle, but almost in the area kind of outside of Sozin's shop, more or less. Where there is just a bunch of streamers that are hanging down. And you can see what you now recognize as the uniformed acrobats of the flip-flips who are kind of climbing the pole and just starting to warm up a little bit this early in the morning as they seem to be getting ready for one of their shows, starting to just loop around the ribbon and almost sail down like aerialist kind of flying through the air, grabbing each other and swinging and catching each other, throwing each other to the next person around this pole. And you can hear gasps and oohs and ahs as the crowd is just sort of starting to acknowledge that the city is waking up and getting their party on, pretty much. It's wonderful and beautiful and everything you could ever want from a festival. There's any type of food, any type of fried dough, anything that your heart desires seems to be here. And you can see like games starting to be set up. You can see a bunch of bottles that looks like they're almost being completed in a grid. You can see this very sort of smoky stall with these beaded curtains that looks almost like a fortune teller's hut. You can see a really massive tent that you almost
it's almost taking the shape of some sort of creature. You can see these like massive feet out of the bottom of this tent, just kind of sitting there, toes sort of wiggling, not doing anything, just waiting. And as you start to really walk through and get an idea, you realize that a lot of the people you're seeing are people that look like they've spent a little bit too much time working, a little bit too much time trying to make ends meet. Their clothes are a little bit scratched, a little bit too many patches, but it seems like they're starting to enjoy themselves, or at least getting ready for the day. Is there anything that you guys would like to do?
Do we see Jace practicing with the flip-flops?
You do see Jace, although he's not so much practicing as he is adorned with his like painted armor and very sleek rapier, kind of like explaining, almost emceeing what to a crowd of people what is going on behind him. You remember he's not so much of an acrobat; he's more of the guard who followed the flip-flops from Salter's Port.
Is he like shouting when the next performance is going to be?
Not shouting it, but handing out pamphlets that if you do walk by, he'll give you that like man high five sort of hug as he recognizes you, and will hand out kind of like a schedule where they're doing almost like mini busking performances throughout the day with a grand performance at night.
Okay.
And as you kind of
see it tonight. Big dog. Sorry, big cat.
I forget what Jace was.
Vulpin.
He was a Vulpin?
Yeah.
Okay. Big canine.
Yeah.
As you start to, or I guess the more you mill about, the more you start to hear, like, step right up, like, test your strength to win a prize from the Feywild, and just a bunch of those, like, very carnival-esque sort of statements as you see people trying their luck, like, swinging some massive sandbags. You can see a little kid trying really hard to lift it before he gets switched to a child's version of a sandbag and gives it a little toss. But things are opening up here. The more time you spend, the more lively it gets, and the better it smells. And you can even see Kariga outside his bar, really like talking to customers or talking to people in general, being the charismatic dude that he
Well, do we want to try a game of strength?
Let's do it.
Well, I was thinking maybe Mrs. Q could take a shot at it. She's the strongest person I know.
Oh.
Hey, Mrs. Q, you want to drink this potion? It's that one that you looked at earlier. I thought you said it made you lucky.
Remind me what?
So
if
you roll at 18.
No, I remember that bit. What's the competition we're standing in front of right now that you want me to try?
Throwing a sandbag.
So there's you saw like a ring toss, you saw the sandbag toss, you saw a fortune teller, you saw a couple other ones, like one of those wheels that get spun and stuff like that. People are starting to kind of make bets. You saw quite a bit, but I think you're standing outside the sandbag toss if it's the feat of strength you're looking at.
Can I quickly, like, how big are these sandbags? Are they like the cornhole kind of sandbags, or are they like a big giant bales of sand?
They're Basil size. They're big.
Okay.
Like it's like a kind of toss.
Oh, okay.
Who's going to be brave enough to stand up and give it a try? This young lad definitely won something from the Feywild trinket table. You can see all sorts of things that you can imagine, and they're all kind of in like little gift bags. So you can't really see, but there seems to be a lot of prizes to be won.
Sir Basil looks to the group and asks Mrs. Quillam, "We have time, right?"
Yes, we have time.
Sir Basil steps up.
Can I step just one second? I gotta go to the washroom, guys. I'll catch you back in a second.
All right.
Cool.
What,
So
I,
is
what I'd
Cam
like to do
here?
is disappear and then go invisible and then
Okay.
and then rejoin the group.
All right.
And if I can, assist with the throwing of the sandbags by carrying it over.
Interesting. Okay. Okay. All right. Yeah. Let's make this work. So Basil, you step up.
Mhm.
Is your intent to like nudge it in the? Oh, we'll get to that for a second. Okay,
Well-
Basil, you step up.
Mhm.
You have no idea that Cam is here.
Exactly.
The person at the carnival or at the stand is kind of this like baked belly Vulpin who is like shaking his whiskers a little bit and is like, "Ho ho, sir, armor suits you. Care to test your strength, I see."
Sir Basil walks up. Indeed, I do.
All right, good sir. Well, at your leisure, you have 2 chances to toss it as far as you can. If you're able to toss it past this mark, and it's like a 20-foot mark, you win a prize. If you're unable to toss it that far after 2 attempts, well, you're more than welcome to try again now, aren't you? When you're ready.
Do I get a sense that like there are lots of people there who are like who tried it and like failed? Like, is it?
Like is it rigged?
Yeah. Do I see people being like, oh, like they're all like frustrated on the side that they couldn't do it or something? Or
Well, the
Like-
little kid seems really happy because the kid's line is like 5 feet away, so he wants something. There doesn't seem to be too many like people who are darn wish I got it. It looks like a couple people have tried. There's like a little bit of sand kind of sprinkled over the court, if you will.
Mhm.
So a couple people have definitely given it a try, but you can't quite tell.
Okay. What would I need to roll or do in order to
All right.
accept this thing?
So as you go and kind of lift up the sandbag, give it a little swing just to test its weight. It is quite heavy, and you can go 1, 2, 3, and I need a strength check from you.
Okay.
See how far you can throw.
You said I need like 2. I have 2 throws, right?
You have 2 attempts.
Okay. All right. Just to add a little flavor. I imagine like similar to how Sir Basil like swings his giant sword, like he like gets momentum. He probably like is doing a similar thing and then just like tries to chuck this thing.
Okay,
And then it's
and we'll get to you in a second.
you said strength check?
A strength check.
I'm going to do nothing on the first throw.
Was it just a,
Okay, good to know.
Yes, just that.
okay, so just a D20 plus
Mhm.
1. Okay. Here we go.
Ooh.
That's well, not 20.
That works.
It just goes flying.
You two looked so unimpressed at the dice roll. Like,
It kind of landed on the edge.
I
and then-
thought it was
and
going to
then
be
slowly-
interference, but it was good.
wow. All right. Without breaking a sweat. Yeah, pretty much. Whatever Cam just did, pretty much. You launch this thing, and it not only goes the 20-foot mark, it's like 40 feet down and kind of slides into somebody's legs. It's just kind of like,
You just see Sabatha like,
yeah. Pretty much. You could see like the Vulpin, his jaw just kind of like drops for a second before he realizes it and was like, well, it looks like we have a winner. You don't even need that second toss. Well, the choice for the prize is yours, good sir.
no
But
matter-
wait, what if he gets it on the second toss too? Does he get 2 prizes?
That's true. If you're interested in a little bit of a bargain, as is our carnival house rules, how about a double or nothing?
Sir
If
Basil
you make it, you get 2 prizes.
feeling.
If you don't make it, then you get none.
Sir Basil feeling overtly confident after his first throw. It's like, I'll take you on that wager.
Good man. And he'll like give him a big handshake. Cam, are you gonna do anything to help at this point, or waiting for it?
Yeah,
in the
so
air?
like as he like throws it, I'm gonna try and like cradle it and like just nudge it. Whatever I can do to help get it over the line.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Making it as seamless as possible.
Okay. Since it's kind of two separate actions, I'll get you both to roll. So Basil, go ahead and roll first. Strength check.
Okay.
And then Cam, I'll get you to roll a strength check as well to help nudge it along.
Advantage.
Strength or dexterity, since it already has some momentum that you're just trying to nudge with it.
Oh, then do.
Because no, he gets strength and
Oh.
dexterity.
You get strength, Basil.
Do you have to decide whether you're going to use that thing before the roll?
Well, yeah, because it changes me.
I mean, I think you're going to get help.
Okay, I'll just roll. All right.
Okay.
That's a 10.
Okay, all right. So as it travels, it gets almost like 2/3 of the way there.
17?
And seemingly as though the air itself is pushing it along, nudges it that extra couple feet to make it just pass the 20-foot line.
Imagine it being like as if you kind of like football caught it and just carried it the rest of the way.
Like just like you're cradling an egg so it doesn't break as you shove it across the line.
I imagine Sir Basil as he like let it go, he's like, ooh, and then like, oh okay, yeah. Hey.
Yeah, exactly. And the stand tender is like hollering for you, kind of like super excited that this is how the day starts off. As promised, my friend, 2 prizes. You can roll in 2d8s, please.
2d8s?
Yes.
That's a D8 and 7.
8 and a 3.
All right. So as you go and pick these bags and take a quick look in it, one of them you see like a pixie stick, you know, those candies.
Okay.
And the stand tender is like, oh, you'll have some wonderful times with that, I promise. And with an 8, you pull out from the bag this almost like a sock puppet. But he's got like hands as well that are on little rods. And as you kind of move it around, you almost see this like little bit of fog almost kind of appear as you're sort of like playing with it, thinking of it. And then as soon as you stop playing with it, it kind of vanishes. Just little trinkets from the Feywild, don't you worry. They're not harmful, I promise. Minor magical illusions. And, if you ever want to try the game again, more than happy to have you. Seems like you've attracted quite the attention. And you can see like a little semicircle around you.
Cool.
Step right up, and he'll just start yelling again.
Was it just like one pixie stick? Or was it like several pixie sticks?
It was one pixie stick.
Okay.
And it looks to be filled with almost like a glittery substance that's kind of just slowly floating in this little gel.
Whoa. Okay. And this is, you're saying that it's a candy, right? Something I eat?
You didn't ask, and there's no instruction manual, so.
Sir Basil.
If only you had someone who could identify things.
I'll let you know later.
Okay. So you see Sir Basil walking away, just like holding his prizes and like playing with the puppet. Walks back to the group. Look, Mrs. Q.
It's very nice.
Almost forgetting that like he's like a badass knight and he's just like having fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mrs. Q wouldn't mind trying the little spinny thing because she's weak and can't throw sandbags, but she can spin wheels. Did you say there was a wheel spinny thing?
There is a wheel spinning thing for sure. And as you kind of walk up to the table, you realize that this seems to be more of a gambling game. As you can see people putting like a couple little copper pieces down, or just like, a little something that they have, maybe a food that they really liked. Like, it doesn't really matter what you bargain. But as the wheel spins, there's like a bunch of different symbols on it, different colors. And as it lands on a certain color with a certain symbol, you hear one person really hoop and kind of like pulls over like 5 gold, 10 gold into his hands, while a few others pull over a little bit less, as they kind of like, just like, yes, I knew it, 50-50. And a couple of people just sort of shrug, walk away, try to find a new game. And the female Quillam behind the little counter kind of, you interested to try? Anyone interested to try? Test your luck with Plurin's wheel. May the fates be ever in your favor. It's quite simple, no opening bid, whatever you feel like putting down, but you can win big. It's essentially roulette.
Okay. Never played roulette.
No worries. If you're feeling lucky, my dear, go ahead and put something down. Like I said, whatever you feel like putting down, totally up to you. But you either want to bet on a symbol or a color. And you can see now that there's like a dark ebony and a gold. So one for Titan, one for Andrea, with like 20 different symbols on the wheel, all unique.
So roulette is normally you would either bet on like
A
red
number or
or
a color,
black,
right?
or
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Presumably, if you bet on a number, there's only one of those numbers, so it's less likely to get what you want.
I mean, yeah, you would hedge your bets on that. So these
Less likely to get the symbol.
Did you
but-
say she'd hedge her bets?
Yeah.
Okay.
Less likely to get the symbol, but if you're daring enough, the reward is far greater.
Do you have a favorite symbol or favorite number?
Anyone else in? Anyone else in for the spin?
I'm interested. As I come out
Perfect.
from behind somebody's cloak.
Love it.
Mrs.
All right,
Q,
well, what are you
Mrs.
willing to bet there, good sir?
Mrs. Q, what do you want to do? I'll defer to you.
You do whatever you like, dear.
Well, you're the lucky one, so here, and I hand her 50 gold coins.
Put it all on black.
Lady Luck.
Put it all on black.
Oh boy.
All right, your choice, a symbol or a color.
What
Black or gold, or one of the 20.
are the symbols?
The numbers 1 to 20.
Okay. So the potion wouldn't really help in this scenario, would it? Well, it could if I chose the number 20.
Well, you don't know if she's gonna have you roll, so. So either one of the.
I'll give you, like, the roll is yours. I'm not gonna roll because that's no fun. The roll is yours to roll.
Okay, so if I chose the number 20 and rolled an 18, 19, or 20 after having taken the potion, then I would have a higher chance of receiving the number that I chose, right?
Yeah, but that's still, yeah.
But that also seems not that many. I see. So in real life, I wouldn't be able to do this either. This is way too
Just
stressful.
go all.
Fine.
So 50-50.
Who's in? Last chance.
I'll put
before the
5 gold on 13.
5 gold on 13. All right. Anyone else? She puts like one hand on the wheel.
Blue.
No, well, it's
Blue?
gold or black.
Black. Okay.
Is blue like the green, 00 green?
Oh gosh. All right, no worries. Where I come from, blue is black too. It's always hard to tell. All right, and that's how much are you putting down on black?
Whatever my young friend here put down,
50 gold.
I guess.
Well, that's what he gave you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are the numbers colored? So like How does that work?
Yeah, I mean, technically, if it lands on a 13, what is it? Odd numbers are black, even numbers are yellow.
Perfect.
Yeah, so you could win double here. All right, all right, all right. Everybody's in, no more bets. And she'll put one hand on the wheel and she'll go ahead and spin.
I'd like to cast my mage hand.
All right. Okay. Since there's two bets, I'm going to go ahead and roll this one because I don't want to choose between the two of you. We'll see what it lands on first, Cam, and then we'll see how.
This is what the arcane trickster is all about. I love it.
It's true. I love it. Okay. So as it starts to tick, 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 it looks like it's getting fairly close to a black, but you see the number 13 kind of come and go. It's about 2/3 of the way around before the wheel starts to slow down to the point where you realize it might be a little, it might land on black, but it might not land on 13.
Well, with the hand, I'd like to just kind of drag it over until it does.
Is your hand invisible?
Yes, it is.
Oh.
Well, in that case, is mage hand verbal?
Nope. It would be verbal when I cast it, and then it's somatic. So I would like just kind of drag my hand across, like I'm like wishing it to go that way.
Okay. There's enough people and enough of a crowd and enough of an excitement that I'm going to say it's not necessary to roll this stuff here. As it like starts to slow down and then just continues to tick, 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 tick for almost an absurdly long time until it kind of comes to rest, shaking just a bit.
It's like another moment where it's like, yes, yes, yes. Oh no. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Do another spin. No.
Yeah. All right. So there's like this uproar from the crowd, whoever bet on black. You see one person who was very sad, who bet quite a bit on the number 19 and was really happy that he almost won. And he kind of looks a little dejected as he walks away from the table. But you can see like the girl behind the table just starts counting out gold pieces for you and is like wide-eyed at you. As Mrs. Q, you get back 75 gold pieces. And Apoc, you get back. Oh no, wait, sorry, I read that wrong. Apoc, you get back 8 gold pieces. Mrs. Q, who wins triple the amount of the original bet, gets 150 gold pieces.
Wait, what?
How did I manage that?
You win triple the amount that you bet. If you get on, oh no, wait, you get.
It's the other way around.
Other way around. You get 15. You get 75. I did that right the first time.
I pass the money back to Cam.
You can keep the 25. Keep the winnings.
Oh. Did you have anything to do with that? I whisper under my breath. Really just that lucky, huh?
Where I come from, there is no such thing as a game of chance. There is no such thing as luck.
You can make an insight check if you want.
If anything, Andrea smiled on us today.
Very nice.
Mrs. Q's in a good mood, so she doesn't press any further.
Good. All right. Cam, Apoc, is there anything else you wanted to try? Any food, any games?
I heard there was a ring toss.
There is a ring toss. Would you like to try the ring toss?
I would like to toss rings.
Okay. All right. As you kind of make your way over to the ring toss, you can see, again, a couple kids who seem to really enjoy it. The little rings with a bunch of bottles that you see one kid like take a handful of them and just toss them all at once, like two-hand toss. And you see like one of them kind of circle and almost seem to get nudged a little bit onto the closest bottle. And you can see him kind of jumping up and down to get his prize. You see more of those little baggies just sort of wrapped in something. Just like before with the sandbag toss. And another very charismatic, very poofy string, like super, super, super poofy barn owl-esque, similar to Dace, but far more like part of their feathers have been dyed the colors of the festival, almost like they're just having a blast here. And they see you all come up and they're just like, the rings are the best game that you'll see here. Classic carnival game. The farther away the rings are, the harder it gets, but the bigger the prize. Who wants to try?
I do.
Perfect. Okay. All right. So, rules of the game, you get 3 rings to toss. The farther you can get the ring, if you get it on a bottle itself, then you win that corresponding prize from the table. And you see like 4 different sized bags. You can go for the easy one, or you can press your luck and go for the far one. But go ahead.
I can throw out the far one.
Right.
Does it cost money?
I haven't been doing money for the rest.
Okay.
So.
All right.
I have 1 silver piece written down. I feel like it's not that big of a deal.
No. What do I do?
All right, so it is a dexterity check to toss it.
Just a dex check?
Dex.
No. It misses way wide. It's a 5.
Yeah.
Yeah. Different dice.
That's okay. Just try another one. Try it. It takes like 1 to warm up. It's fine.
It's a 5 again.
Well, does a 5 mean that you got a lower prize, or is it just like nothing?
No, it like lands, about halfway to the first row. It's okay. Sometimes you need just 2 to warm up. It's all right. Like there's 1 more. Go ahead.
15.
You finally getting the hang of it, give it a toss, and it just like loops itself like once, twice around the rim of the bottle in the farthest row before finally settling on. And the string is just like, yay, we have a winner! That's so exciting. Okay. Go ahead and pick your prize.
I just had to calibrate.
It's all right. It happens to the best of us. You can roll a D100 for your prize.
Oh boy.
Different table.
55.
Oh gosh, Sean.
Oh man.
I'm not even kidding.
This is actually cool. Okay. I'm gonna write this down. As you open your bag, you pull out this. Essentially like a sleeping mask. Like the eye cover mask. It's got like a little elastic that goes around the back. It looks to be like almost a starscape that's just gently moving, kind of like the same glitter that's inside Basil's pixie stick. It's just sort of gently moving. There's like this faint kind of like pulsing to it, almost like an aura. And you see the girl go like, oh, that's one of my favorites. We have so little of those right from the Feywild. You're going to love it. Well, unless you have a bad dream, then you're not going to love it. But it's okay. You're going to love it.
Oh.
Oh, it just helps you remember your dreams. That's all.
Okay.
Happy.
I'm a little bit prone to bad dreams, but
Well, you can always sell it.
yeah.
I'm sure gold doesn't give you bad dreams.
No, but I think this is cool. We'll see. Thanks.
Thank you for playing. Anybody else want to try?
I think Mrs. Q would be down to give this a go.
Go ahead, Mrs. Q. You have 3 chances. I need a dex check.
$17.
without issue on your first try. It's like the inside frisbee toss. You get it right on the same bottle as Apoc. And again, you can see the girl just like the string just. Two more tries.
Oh, okay. 14.
As you kind of like chuck the next one, you can see it bounce off a couple different bottles before it kind of like hits off one and just moves itself kind of onto like the bottle right in front of the bottle you already got your ring onto. And you can see her just like 3 for 3. If you go 3 for 3, that's so cool.
19.
Hey.
Jeez, this is cute. Also, you get it onto like 3 rings on the same bottle.
Cool.
That was awesome. As she's just like, that was so cool. That was so cool. That's the coolest thing. I'm really sorry, but it's 1 prize per person per play. But like, that was really cool. You can roll a D100.
As a young hedge.
Pardon?
I used to play horseshoes as a young hedge.
Well, it served you well. Childhood well spent. D100 from you.
Part of the reason why I wanted to play this game is because I've never rolled my D100s.
Oh.
Nice.
Do it.
It's the two, you roll both, right?
You roll both. Yeah. The 2 really weird looking ones. You can either, or you have one that has 2 like 70, 80 stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's your 10s, and then the other one is your 1s.
81.
Is that a 7 or a 1?
That's a 1.
You sure?
It's
It's 7 look like.
like,
Is it a 1-0 or is it just like the 1?
it's just, yeah, it's just a single number. Yeah, that's
Okay.
that's the one. That's the 7. Yeah, it's 81.
81? Okay. Oh. If Mrs. Q had to pick one smell that reminded her of home, what would it be?
Wild mountain thyme.
Whoa.
You pick up a bag, and as soon as you open it, you get a just plume of scent of wild mountain thyme. As you pull out this bag of seeds, that is just the smelliest bag of seeds you've ever opened.
That is perfect.
That is the perfect gift. I love that. I'm writing that down. I'm so pumped.
So it's a pouch of seeds that smell like home.
That's lovely.
Anyone
That's
else?
awesome.
Anyone else?
Is there any? If I look around, are there any other games that are going on, or is this like the?
Yeah. So there was the spinner, the ring toss, the sandbag toss that you went to. It looks like there are a couple of long tables being set up. A few people are taking their seats, and you can see like bowls and bowls and bowls of what looks like custard being set out in front of this table. Kind of like kitty corner to that almost, you can see, the best way I can describe it is almost like big hula hoops that are being set out with little rings, about 5 rings on the outside of it. And you can see like teams of 5 that are kind of starting to get ready and like doing some warm-ups and almost seem to be like tossing something from one to the other as fast as they can. And then there is the fortune teller that you remember passing, as well as what you now see outside the tent with the big feet, a sign that just says "Outstare the Cyclops."
I think I am very intrigued by the fortune teller and would gravitate that way.
All right. So as you kind of feel yourself get pulled by the strings of fortune and fate almost, you can see there's like very gaudy, there's like smoke that's just like oozing out of the beads that come down from the fortune teller.
And as you walk in, there's like the classic, heavy drapes kind of everywhere in this little tent. There's a table set up with a crystal ball in front, a deck of cards set just to the right of it. And you can see this older hedge, very, very, very deep wrinkles along the snout, dressed in this absolute like velvet burgundy like robe that comes all the way down past her fingers, just kind of sitting, eyes closed, almost sort of moving in time with a beat of music you can't see. And as you kind of open the beads, they make a little bit of a clinking sound against one another, and she'll just sort of open one eye. Welcome, my dear. I've been expecting you. She'll gesture to the pillow across the table.
I'll sit down silently, just cross-legged.
I can see you're a little uncomfortable. I can see it in your aura. Are you here for a reading?
Yeah. If you don't mind, I'd be interested to see whatever my fortune might be.
Oh, that is my specialty. You've come to the right place. She'll kind of move the crystal ball just to the side as she pulls forward the deck of cards. And she's going to lay 3 cards kind of face down in front of you after a quick shuffle. She'll put the deck aside. These cards will tell you your past. She'll gesture to the one on her right, your left. Your present. She'll gesture to the one in the middle. And your future. She'll gesture to the one on the opposite side. You can roll me a d20.
17. 17.
I'm so curious.
Okay. As she kind of takes in a deep breath, closes her eyes, and without opening them, flips over, you can see a card with a very kind of picturesque garden. There's a pool of water facing you, a massive sun in the sky, with kind of almost in a starscape as opposed to a blue sky itself. And there are just a plethora of multicolored flowers on this card moving around. And as she kind of just holds her hand over top of it, eyes closed. The past is represented by the star. This tells me that you have things in your past that have not yet been solved. Things that weigh on your mind even to this day. However, things that you can find solution and answers to, so long as you know where to look. It's a card of positivity, of joy, of things to be discovered. What an exciting past you've had, my dear. She'll kind of move over to the card in the middle, eyes still closed, and she'll flip it. I need you to roll another d20.
It's a nat 1.
As she, eyes closed, flips over the middle card, you see facing you this time the face, not unlike some of the getup that you've seen in the flip-flips, heavily make-upped in more of a smiling fashion, eyes very bright, and you see a very floofy jester's hat. She takes one more deep breath, kind of inhaling the aroma of her hut. The Fool, always an interesting card to choose as she guides over it. This card is your present. The Fool is, contrary to its name, only a fool in the sense it seeks adventure and new beginnings. The Fool is not afraid to start something that it might not know fully. And see in your present that you're willing to start new adventures, new journeys, and that fear is not going to stop you from this. She'll move over to kind of the last card. She'll go ahead and flip it. One more D20, good sir.
8.
As she flips it, facing you, you see a more of a country road that's kind of perspective point into the distance of the horizon. The entire back of the card is completely yellow, and you see a lone single horse-drawn chariot, the only thing of color on this card, the only thing that stands out. As she takes one final deep breath, I see your future is represented by the chariot. This is usually a symbol that you need to take control of something. Some sort of challenge in your future, some sort of thing that you must show force to overcome. Doesn't tell me what, just that you are going to waste energy on emotional connection when the thing you need to do is take control and think logically to solve this puzzle. She'll kind of take one final deep breath, pulling her hand back before opening her eyes, giving a deep sigh. Oh, hello, my dear. Was that to your liking? And she'll kind of reach both hands out. Fortunes are never usually easy, and I just want you to know that everything I saw was good.
I reach out and grab her hands, and I say, I don't know whether to thank you or to walk out here upset. I guess the fates will tell that in time. So rather than say thank you, I'd like to say, let's meet again and see how well you did.
As you made contact with her hand, and she made contact with the handprint that is burned into your fur, you can see her arm almost stiffen just a little, and her face kind of goes almost a little slack as she kind of looks almost in shock just at that contact point, your one hand that has the handprint on her wrist. You can see her breath kind of pick up the pace. And she finally sort of pulls away, almost seeming to not pay attention to what it is that you were saying.
Whoa.
Please be careful, my dear.
Well, as you said, I've got a challenge to overcome.
May the Amaranthine help you with whatever it is that challenge brings. That is something I did not see.
As I said, let's meet again and see how well you did.
You'll just stay silent as you walk out.
I stand up and walk out.
And since it is getting quite late, I feel like that's a good place to end.
That was intense.
There were so many intense moments trickled of just like fun games.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That was really fun. Good job, Andrea. That was cool.
Thank you.
Amazing.
You'll just have to tell Dace how much he missed by going to the karaoke bar instead of coming with you.
Cool.
Thanks, guys. That was awesome.
Great job, Andrea.
I was